Hello, welcome to the Learn English Lab. Today we're doing a deep dive into something really fundamental. Our topic is Believe in Yourself, Advanced English Learning. And, this whole idea of believing in yourself, it sounds so straightforward, doesn't it?
It really does. Almost simple.
Yeah, just, trust yourself, have faith, go for it. But let's be real, it's often one of the hardest things to actually do.
Life throws things at you.
Right, unexpected challenges, those moments where doubt just creeps in and suddenly you're asking yourself,
Am I really capable?
am I smart enough? Can I really pull this off? That kind of thing. So our mission today is to really unpack this, to understand why self-belief is so vital.
And crucially, how to build it.
Yes, how to make it a real ingrained habit, not just a nice thought, and how to keep it going, even when things get tough.
When the world seems determined to test you.
Exactly. So this is really for anyone out there chasing a big goal, maybe going through a hard time, or honestly just wanting to understand themselves a bit better.
And what's so fascinating here, I think, is that self-belief, it's more than just a positive attitude.
Right. It's not just wishful thinking.
Not at all. From a psychological standpoint, it's actually foundational. It underpins your effectiveness, your contentment, really.
How so?
Well, when you truly believe you can handle things, it fundamentally changes how you approach, everything. Challenges, opportunities.
It shifts your perspective.
Absolutely. And today, we're going to move beyond just the usual motivational slogans.
Good. Deeper than platitudes.
Definitely. We want to get into the practical stuff, the insights, even some of the science behind why this internal strength is so critical.
Like a blueprint, maybe?
Sort of, yeah. A blueprint for empowering your own journey. We want you to walk away with real, actionable knowledge from this deep dive.
Okay, let's kick things off then. Why? Why does believing in yourself matter so much? What's the core of it?
It's fundamental, truly.
Think about your biggest dreams, right? Your highest ambitions. Without that underlying belief, it feels like trying to drive a car with no fuel.
You're just not going anywhere. Stalled.
Exactly. Self-belief is the spark. It's the fuel. It ignites your drive.
It gives you the courage to keep going even when things are uncertain.
And the resilience. The ability to bounce back when you stumble. Because, let's face it, we all stumble.
We do. It's part of the process.
And it's not about arrogance, is it? Or thinking you're perfect.
Oh, not at all. That's a common misconception.
It's more like this quiet inner conviction. A trust in your own ability to figure things out.
To learn, adapt, find solutions, whatever comes your way.
It's knowing, deep down, that you have the resources inside you.
And when you have that conviction, that inner certainty, things change.
How so?
You become more willing to take calculated risks, to try new things.
Push your boundaries a bit?
Exactly. You step outside that comfort zone more readily. It's like having this internal cheerleader.
I like that. An inner cheerleader.
Yeah, someone always in your corner, even if external support isn't there or if people doubt you.
And there's actual research backing this up, right? It's not just a feeling.
Oh, absolutely. The benefits are tangible and well documented. For instance, there was a significant study back in 2018 that showed a clear link between high self-efficacy, that's the psychological term for believing in your ability to succeed in specific situations.
Got it. Self-efficacy.
Right. People with higher self-efficacy were much more likely to persist when faced with challenges. They didn't give up as easily.
Makes sense. If you think you can, you keep trying.
Precisely. And not only that, they also reported higher levels of life satisfaction overall.
Wow. So it affects not just achieving goals, but your general happiness too.
Definitely. It shows the profound impact belief has, not just on doing things, but on your overall well-being, your ability to flourish.
That link between belief, persistence, and satisfaction is huge. But here's something important, I think. Self-belief isn't fixed, is it? It's not like you're born with it or you're not.
That's a critical point. Absolutely not fixed.
It's more like valwa, like a muscle.
That's a perfect analogy. It's exactly like a muscle. It needs work, consistent attention.
You have to exercise it, build it up.
You do. You have to stretch it, sometimes let it recover. It grows stronger with use.
So like going to the gym, but for your mind.
In a way, yes. Building this internal strength takes time, deliberate practice, and, patience.
Yeah, patience is key. It's not an overnight transformation.
Not at all. But every little bit of effort, every rep, builds that strength incrementally.
That incremental approach feels much less daunting.
It is, and it's vital. You really can't overstate the need for a consistent, sustained effort here.
Like physical training.
Just like it. A single intense workout doesn't build lasting strength. It's the regular, repeated effort over time.
So consistently doing things, thinking things that reinforce your capabilities.
Exactly. Even small things. Letting those positive experiences build up. It's not like flipping a switch.
No quick fix.
No. It's a strength patiently built.
Yeah.
And doing that actually helps solidify positive neural pathways in your brain.
Making it easier to default to confidence next time.
That's the idea. Training your brain, essentially.
Okay, so if it's a muscle we can build, where does it even come from initially? What are the origins of self-belief?
It's usually a mix of things, really.
Like nature and nurture.
Sort of. There can be an element of inherent predisposition, sure, but environmental influences, nurture, play a huge role.
Your upbringing.
Definitely. And also just the accumulation of your unique life experiences.
Think back, maybe, to when you were younger.
Yeah, were there people around you, parents, teachers, maybe siblings who are always championing you?
Telling you can do anything.
That kind of consistent external validation can plant powerful seeds early on.
But what if you didn't have that?
Then maybe you had to learn to be your own cheerleader, to find that strength within yourself.
Which is also powerful in a different way.
Absolutely. Either way, those early moments, the good and the bad, they shape how you see yourself now. They lay the groundwork.
So it's worth reflecting on those early times.
Incredibly helpful. Think about the very first time you felt genuinely proud of something you did.
Like nailing a test.
Yeah.
Or scoring a goal.
Could be anything. Finishing a project, creating something. Those moments, especially if they were acknowledged, they were seeds of confidence.
Showing you what you're capable of.
Right. But the opposite is also true, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. The times you felt you messed up.
Struggled with something, didn't make the cut, got criticized harshly. Those can plant seeds of doubt.
And if you don't deal with those,
they can grow. Over time, they can cultivate this deep insecurity, like a dense forest in your mind.
Making it hard to see your own potential.
Exactly. That's why understanding where these feelings might stem from is so important. It helps untangle the roots.
But here's the kicker, right? The really good news.
Yes.
You're not stuck with those old beliefs.
Absolutely not. This is crucial.
Your brain. It's not fixed. It can change.
It's incredibly dynamic. It has this amazing ability to rewire itself, forming new connections based on your experiences, even your thoughts.
That's neuroplasticity, isn't it?
That's the term. And it's not just a concept, it's a biological reality. Neurons that fire together, wire together.
So you can literally build new pathways in your brain.
You can. Your brain reorganizes itself throughout your life. You can teach it new ways of thinking, perceiving, even as an adult.
That's incredibly empowering.
It is. And there's a lot of research, neuroscience studies showing how this works. Repeated behaviors, consistent thought patterns. They forge these new pathways.
So you can literally reshape your brain to believe in yourself more.
You can systematically dismantle old conditioning. Think of negative thoughts like deep ruts in a path easy to fall into.
Okay.
Neuroplasticity means you can start building new paths. Maybe faint at first.
But every time you challenge a negative thought.
Or push through a small difficulty. Or celebrate a tiny win. You're reinforcing that new path, making it stronger, easier to follow next time.
So those old negative beliefs, the doubts, they're not permanent.
Not at all. You have the agency, the power to transform your mindset, to replace those limiting beliefs with real, robust self-belief.
Wow. That gives you so much control over your internal world.
It truly does, over your future potential, too.
Okay, that's huge. Rewiring our brains. Amazing. So now we know why it's important and that it's possible to build it. Let's talk about the things that get in the way.
The obstacles.
Yeah, the internal adversaries, the villains maybe, but they're not outside forces, are they?
No, they're internal patterns, sneaky habits.
Chipping away at our confidence, sometimes without us even noticing.
Very subtle, but very potent. And you've hit on something key there. They're internal, not obvious external threats.
So like cognitive biases, ingrained habits.
Exactly. And if you don't recognize them, they can really hold you back. Understanding them, seeing their tactics, that's the first step to disarming them.
Taking back control.
Precisely. Otherwise, you're fighting blind.
Okay, villain number one, the inner critic.
Ah, yes. We all know this one.
That voice, right? Whispering, sometimes shouting. You're not good enough. Who do you think you are? You'll just fail.
Total buzzkill, as you said earlier.
It loves pointing out flaws, dredging up past mistakes.
Making you feel inadequate, like you're doomed before you start.
Psychologists call it negative self-talk, right?
They do, and it's often rooted in cognitive biases. Like the negativity bias, our brains pay more attention to the bad stuff.
And confirmation bias, looking for proof that our doubts are right.
Spot on. Understanding these biases helps take away the critic's power. Realizing its voice isn't the truth.
It's just a pattern, a story.
Just a story, often based on old anxieties, maybe things that aren't even relevant anymore.
So how do you fight it?
First, recognize it, then challenge it directly. Question its authority.
Don't just accept what it says.
Absolutely not. A really effective technique backed by cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is cognitive restructuring.
Okay, what does that involve?
You actually write down the critical thoughts, get them out of your head and onto paper. Then you actively find evidence to refute them. Hard, factual evidence.
So if the critic says, you'll never get that promotion, you're not qualified.
You counter it. List your qualifications, your experience, your past successes in similar roles. Be specific.
Use logic against the fear.
Exactly. It helps weaken the critic's hold over time and strengthens the rational part of your brain that knows your true worth.
Okay, good strategy. Now, villain number 2, comparison.
Oof. This one is tough, especially today.
Social media central. Right, you're scrolling.
And everyone's life looks perfect, highlight reels only.
Perfect jobs, perfect holidays, perfect families, and suddenly your life feels lacking.
It makes you focus on what you don't have instead of appreciating what you do.
Total joy thief.
Absolutely. And there's proof, too. A 2020 study linked heavy social media use directly to lower self-esteem, especially because of comparison.
This is a real psychological effect.
That is. So the first step is often limiting exposure. Social media isn't real life, it's curated.
Set a timer. Take a break.
Good ideas. Maybe just 15-20 minutes a day or a weekend detox to reset.
But beyond just limiting it.
The real shift is bringing the focus back to your journey, your unique path.
Celebrate your own wins, however small.
Consciously, deliberately. Did you tackle something hard today? Learn something new? Get through a tough day? Acknowledge it.
And if you catch yourself comparing, that envy creeping in,
try to reframe it. Instead of feeling defeated, see if you can turn it into inspiration.
Oh.
Ask yourself, what can I learn from how they achieved that? Not, why aren't I there? Turn envy into motivation.
Okay, shift from defeat to learning. I like that. Villain number 3, fear of failure.
A big one, truly paralyzing for many.
That voice saying, what if it goes wrong? What if people laugh? What if I mess up?
It leads to playing it safe, sticking to the familiar.
Stagnation, really, instead of going for what you really want.
And it ties into loss aversion psychologically. We fear potential losses like failure or embarrassment more than we value potential gains.
We're wired to avoid pain.
More than seeking pleasure, often. So dismantling this fear means fundamentally reframing what failure is.
It's not the end.
Not at all. It's a catalyst for growth, invaluable learning.
Think about successful people. They all failed.
Repeatedly, often. Thomas Edison and the light bulb over 1,000 tries.
Wow.
J.K. Rowling rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter took off.
Incredible persistence.
These aren't exceptions, they show a truth. Failure is feedback. It's data.
It shows you what doesn't work.
So you can adjust your approach, find what does. So take a breath, take a small step. Mistakes are part of learning.
You mentioned an exercise for this.
Yes. Think of a past failure. Write down what happened. Then the key part, list at least 3 specific lessons you learned from it.
How did it help you grow?
Exactly. It shifts the perspective from regret to learning. It can be surprisingly empowering.
Okay, so we've met the villains. Now let's get to the good stuff. Actively building that self-belief muscle.
The empowering part. Practical, actionable steps.
And not huge, overwhelming things, right? Small, consistent actions.
That's the way. They add up. Sustainable change.
So step 1.
Commemorate your achievements, no matter how small.
Feeling good about yourself doesn't require giant leaps.
Absolutely not. Daily wins are crucial. Did you make your bed? That's a win. Finish a task on time? Win. Try something new, even if imperfectly. Big win.
So recognize the small stuff.
Definitely. A great way is a win journal. End of each day, jot down 3 things you accomplished.
Just 3 small things.
Yep. Over time, looking back at that journal provides powerful proof of your capability. Positive psychology research backs this up. Reflecting on daily successes boosts self-esteem and motivation.
Creates a record of competence. I like that. Okay, step 2.
Establish modest, attainable objectives.
Break down the big dreams.
Exactly. Big goals are great for direction, but they can feel overwhelming, paralyzing even.
So if you want to run a marathon,
Start with walking regularly, then a 5K, then a 10K. Smaller steps.
Or launching a business.
Well, start with a small side hustle. Test the waters. Build gradually.
Each small success fuels the next one.
It provides concrete evidence. I can do this. It builds belief through action. It's that positive feedback loop.
Like the SMART goals framework. Specific, measurable.
Achievable, relevant, time-bound. Yes. That framework is effective precisely because it makes goals less daunting, more manageable.
Make sense? Step 3.
Cultivate a supportive network.
The people around you matter. A lot.
Hugely. Your social environment significantly influences your self-belief. Seek out people who uplift and inspire you.
Not the doubters or the critics.
Choose carefully. Friends who offer honest encouragement, mentors who guide, positive online groups even.
Their belief in you acts like fertilizer.
Good analogy. It helps your own belief grow. There was a 2019 study showing strong social networks linked directly to higher self-confidence and resilience.
So your tribe impacts your strength. Okay, step 4.
Embrace self-compassion.
Being kind to yourself.
Treating yourself like you'd treat a good friend who's struggling. With kindness, understanding, encouragement.
Not beating yourself up when things go wrong.
Exactly. Avoid that harsh self-reproach. It just drains you. Instead, try gentle phrases.
Like,
it's okay, I'm learning, or this didn't work, but I gained experience. It might feel weird at first.
a bit unnatural.
Maybe, but it works. It reframes setbacks from failures into learning opportunities.
Dr. Kristen Neff's research talks about this, right?
Yes, she's a pioneer here. Self-compassion is linked to lower stress, better emotional resilience.
It's about accepting imperfection as part of being human.
Right. Responding with warmth, not judgment, creates an internal space where self-belief can actually thrive, even when things are tough. It's the antidote to the inner critic.
Allows you to bounce back faster.
And learn more effectively. Approach the next thing with more confidence.
Okay, these steps are really practical. Now, I think hearing real stories can be super motivating, right? Seeing how others did it.
Absolutely. It makes the concepts real, tangible, lights a fire sometimes.
Let's dive into some of those real-world narratives. Self-belief in action.
These stories show resilience, action, amazing achievements against the odds. They prove these aren't just theories.
Okay, first up, Sarah Blakely, Spanx founder.
A great example.
She was selling fax machines door to door. No fashion background, no business degree, no connections.
Just an idea, comfortable shapewear.
And she got rejected. A lot. Laughed at by manufacturers who'd wear that.
But she didn't quit.
Not a chance. Total conviction in her idea.
Yeah.
Relentless persistence against everyone telling her no.
And look what happened.
Built a billion-dollar company from basically nothing. She trusted her gut, believed when no one else did. Didn't wait for permission.
That's that inner advocate we talked about. Her internal belief was stronger than all the external no's. It wasn't just the idea, it was belief in her ability to make it happen.
Amazing. Okay, next, Michael Jordan.
Go legend.
Hard to believe, but he got cut from his high school basketball team.
Told he wasn't good enough as a kid.
That could crush anyone, but him,
Yeah.
he used it.
Channeled it into intense practice, built this unshakable belief in himself.
Wanted to prove to himself what he can do.
And he famously said, "I've failed over and over, and that is why I succeed."
Wow. Turning rejection into fuel, transforming setbacks into triumphs.
Perfectly captures reframing failure. It wasn't an endpoint, it was feedback, motivation. Belief isn't about never failing, it's believing you can recover because of failure.
Powerful. Then, Malala Yousafzai.
An incredible voice.
Just a teenager, standing up for girls' education in Pakistan against the Taliban, facing real danger.
And she survived an assassination attempt at 15.
Horrifying. Could have silenced anyone, but not her.
Her belief in her mission education for all girls and in her own voice kept her going.
Nobel Prize winner, global advocate. Her belief went beyond herself. It was for a bigger cause.
Demonstrates belief as a moral compass, turning personal courage into global impact.
Yeah.
It's not just about personal success, it's about conviction changing the world.
Truly inspiring. Now let's bring it closer to home. Everyday heroes.
Yes, the quiet, incremental belief that transforms lives.
Like Lizzie, the marathon mom. Single mom, 30s, out of shape. Decides to run a marathon.
And the inner critic goes wild.
Too old, too busy, you'll never do it. But she didn't listen. Took one tiny step.
Started jogging 10 minutes a day.
Joined a running group for support. Tracked her progress.
And 2 years later,
Crossed that marathon finish line. Tears, pride, proved that critic wrong step by step. Her story shows belief starts small and grows with effort.
Underscores those modest goals, the supportive network, turning impossible dreams into tangible triumphs through consistency.
Then Javier, the trailblazing first-gen graduate, grew up low income. College seemed out of reach.
Doubts about fitting in, belonging.
But he applied anyway. His mantra, if I don't try, I'll never know.
Powerful.
Got in, worked multiple jobs, studied relentlessly, graduated with honors. Now he helps other first-gen students.
His belief didn't just change his life. It created ripples, inspiring others, showing them it's possible.
Demonstrates belief, fostering not just personal success, but community empowerment, lifting others up.
Beautiful example.
And finally, Aisha, the artist who found her voice, loved painting, but others called it just a hobby.
Not a real career, so she hid it.
Worked a draining desk job. But one day, she decided to share her art online, terrified of criticism.
What happened?
People loved it. Overwhelmingly positive response. She started selling prints, then originals. Now runs her own art business.
Wow.
Her story shows trusting your passion, believing in your spark, sharing it, can unlock doors you never imagined. Passion becomes purpose.
It resonates with embracing imperfection, sharing your work. External validation reinforces internal belief, leads to amazing things. These stories all show the power of belief in so many different ways.
Business, sports, advocacy, personal goals, art. It's everywhere.
They prove these principles work in real lives. So if we connect this back to the bigger picture, it's clear self-belief isn't just for big projects. It touches everything.
Permeates all aspects of life.
Every facet. Daily interactions, long-term goals. It's this underlying current affecting your whole life.
Okay, let's explore that. How does it show up in different areas? And what can you do?
Let's break it down.
In your career, belief is key for promotions, changing paths, starting something new.
It's the confidence to pitch that idea, volunteer for the tough project, believing you deserve the role and can excel.
How do you build that specifically for work?
Visualization helps mentally rehearsing success, like athletes do. Continuously learning new skills proves your adaptability.
Building that internal resume.
Exactly. And seeking constructive feedback shows you believe you can improve, which builds more confidence.
Okay. What about relationships?
Belief here means knowing you deserve love, respect, healthy connections. Doubt can make you settle for less or shy away.
So how to strengthen it in relationships?
Setting clear boundaries is huge, valuing your needs. Practicing open, honest communication, even when hard.
Shows you value yourself enough to be heard.
And celebrating your unique qualities, what you bring to the relationship. It solidifies your sense of worth.
Makes sense. Personal growth.
Belief is the engine here. Believing you can learn and improve drives you to expand.
How to fuel that engine.
Consistently try new things, even small ones. Reflect regularly, maybe journal, to see how far you've come. Acknowledge the progress.
And embrace lifelong learning books, podcasts like this one, workshops. It expands your knowledge and your belief in your capabilities.
And health, fitness, diet, stress.
Belief is critical there too. It's what gets you to the gym when you don't feel like it, or helps you make the healthier choice.
Practical ways. Small, consistent actions, 10 minutes of movement. Reframe setbacks. Missing a workout isn't failure, it's data.
Learn and adjust.
And celebrate every bit of progress. Tracking progress boosts motivation and belief. Studies show.
Creativity. That inner critic can be loud there.
Oh, yes. Belief here means quieting that doubt. Embracing imperfection in first drafts. Just get it out there. Create first. Refine later.
Share your work for feedback. Engage in playful experimentation without judgment. That's often where breakthroughs happen.
And finally, spirituality.
For many, it's a foundation for peace and belief. Trusting in something larger, a connection.
How does that manifest?
Daily gratitude practices shift focus to abundance. Meditation or prayer centers you. Connecting with like-minded communities offers support and shared purpose.
So belief really does weave through everything.
It really does.
Yeah.
Now let's get nerdy for a second. The science. What's actually going on in our brains?
The neuroscience. Understanding this can give you a real sense of control.
It's not just feelings, it's biology.
Tangible, measurable activity. Let's start with the prefrontal cortex, your brain's CEO, right behind your forehead.
Decision-making, planning.
Evaluating abilities. When you believe in yourself, this area is active, focused on solutions, possibilities.
But when doubt creeps in,
the amygdala, the fear center, can hijack it. It screams danger, retreat, leading to hesitation.
Paralyzing you.
But here's the cool part. Positive self-talk, visualization, Planning these strengthen the prefrontal cortex's control, calming the amygdala, boosting confidence.
We can actually influence that brain battle. Okay, what else?
Dopamine and the reward system. This reinforces positive actions.
The feel-good chemical.
Or motivation molecule. Every success, even tiny ones, releases dopamine. This creates a positive loop. Success, confidence, pleasure, motivation for more success, more dopamine.
That's why celebrating small wins is so powerful.
It literally rewires your brain to expect more wins. Makes pursuing goals feel rewarding. Studies link dopamine directly to motivation and self-efficacy.
Amazing. And this ties back to
neuroplasticity, revisited. The brain's ability to change, form new pathways based on what you do and think.
So practicing belief habits.
Challenging negative thoughts, setting goals, celebrating progress. You're actively strengthening new neural pathways for confidence.
Making confidence the default setting over time?
Essentially, yes. Upgrading your brain's operating system to self-belief 2.0. Your mindset isn't fixed. You can sculpt it.
Incredible. So practically speaking, for everyone listening, how do we put this into action? Let's talk exercises.
Right, workouts for that confidence muscle. Translating theory into personal experience.
Let's start with exercise 1, the confidence collage.
A creative visual one.
Grab magazines, scissors, glue. Create a collage with images, words symbolizing your strength, dreams, past wins.
Let your imagination guide you.
Hang it where you'll see it daily. Bedroom wall, desk. A constant visual reminder, reinforcing belief.
Exercise 2, the 30-day self-belief challenge.
About taking action.
Commit to one small, confidence-stretching action each day for a month. Speak up in a meeting, try a new hobby, talk to someone new.
Push the comfort zone a little.
Just a little. Reflect afterwards. By day 30, you'll have this amazing body of evidence showing your courage and capability. Proof through action.
Exercise 3, affirmation power-up.
Shaping internal dialogue.
Craft 5 personal affirmations that resonate. I am capable. I am worthy. I am resilient.
Say them aloud daily, maybe looking in the mirror. Research shows affirmations reduce stress, enhance confidence by training your brain.
And exercise 4, the failure to lesson journal.
Transforming setback.
Pick a past failure, write about it. Then crucially list the lessons learned and how it helped you grow.
Rooted in CBT principles, reframes failure as learning, building resilience. Shifts focus from blame to empowerment.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah.
And beyond exercises, you mentioned mindfulness.
Yes, a catalyst for sustaining belief. It fosters presence.
Quiets the inner critic.
By anchoring you in the present, on what you can control, not lost in past regrets or future worries.
Studies show it boosts self-esteem, reduces anxiety.
Right. You learn to observe thoughts, including negative ones, without getting swept away, gives you power over them.
Practical techniques.
Simple breath focus for 5 minds builds resilience. A body scan reconnects you to yourself. Mindful journaling helps process emotions, spot patterns.
And that grounding technique, for when doubt hits hard.
The 5-4-3-2-1 technique. Engage your senses. 5 things you see, 4 you feel, 3 you hear, 2 you smell, 1 you taste.
Pulls you out of your head into the present.
Instantly calming. Recenters you, restores confidence by grounding you right here, right now.
So bringing this all together, what does it mean long term? How do we keep this going?
That's the important question, isn't it? If it requires this effort, how do you sustain it?
Well, the reality is, self-belief isn't a destination you just arrive at.
It's not static.
No, it's a continuous evolution, a journey with ups and downs.
Fluctuations are normal.
Totally. Some days you feel unstoppable, other days doubt creeps back in. You wonder if you're really cut out for this.
And that happens to everyone, even the most confident people.
The key is just to keep showing up.
Yeah.
Keep trying. Keep reminding yourself, especially when it's hard, that you are capable.
It's about building a system that supports you through those inevitable dips.
I like the garden analogy you mentioned earlier.
Right. Plant the seeds, small wins, goals. Water consistently positive actions, self-compassion. Weed out the negatives, inner critic, comparison, fear. Provide sunshine supportive people, mindfulness.
Let it blossom into something uniquely yours.
Your own resilient, authentic self-belief. So the final call to action really is just take that first step, however small. Trust in your capabilities. You have immense inner power, truly.
That's such an empowering note to land on. What a journey we've taken today, really diving deep into unlocking that inner power through self-belief.
We covered a lot of ground.
We really did. From why it's essential fuel, to dismantling those inner villains, to the practical steps for building the muscle.
And weaving it into all parts of life.
Career, relationships, health, creativity, all of it. And those stories. Sarah Blakely, Michael Jordan, Malala, Lizzie, Javier, Aisha.
Powerful testaments to what's possible when you believe.
It really show it's the foundation for creating the life you want.
And just remember, this journey, it's ongoing work.
Not always easy.
No, ups and downs are part of it, but embracing that process, committing to yourself, that's where fulfillment and impact really come from.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found this exploration valuable. If you did, please do us a favor. Like this video, share it with someone who might benefit, and definitely subscribe to this YouTube channel for more insightful discussions like this one. Remember, you've got this.